All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Lionel King, but you probably already knew that. So I just want to come on here live and answer some questions that you all have had. Um, Talk about inflammation and autoimmunity. A lot of you have seen one of my webinars on the subject as well, and you had some questions. So let's go through these because I want to make sure that I get your questions answered. When you post, make sure that you ask questions and whatever, because what we do is we save those questions and then I use them to address here live. Because just, for me to just text back or type back an answer, it really doesn't do it justice, okay? So let's go through these, all right? So, there's a lot of questions about the anti-inflammatory diet. So let's address that. So for those of you that are not familiar with the anti-inflammatory diet, it's a specific eating strategy that really involves getting rid of inflammatory foods, okay? And it can be very helpful with autoimmunity. So there's some people that have an autoimmune condition. So let me kind of explain to you what's going on, because anything that you do, you have to understand what's the root cause of it. Because if you understand the root cause and address that, then what you're actually doing then makes sense. So for instance, if you have an autoimmune condition or if you have a lot of inflammation, and then someone just says, oh, you should do the anti-inflammatory diet, and you look it up and you say, oh, okay, I won't eat this and I won't eat this and da-da-da. But then you don't really understand why you're not eating those things or why you're doing what you're doing. Then what happens is it's hard to sustain, because the brain wants to know why you're doing something, right? And so when you lose track of that, it's really challenging. Okay, so autoimmunity. Let's understand that first. So, in layman's terms, is when the immune system attacks itself or attacks the body. Now, here's the thing: your body is not mad at itself. It has no reason to attack itself. So, what's really going on here? What's happening is that there is something that is coming into the body that the body recognizes as foreign. Okay, so for instance, if you're eating something with a bunch of pesticides and herbicides and it comes into the body, your body's brilliant. It knows what is supposed to be there and what is not supposed to be there. So then what happens is the body develops antibodies and it tags all of the bad guys and say, this does not belong. And then your killer cells, your natural killer cells, come and get rid of it, right? That's a very kind of overview of what's happening. Your immune system says this is the bad guy, and then the police come and gets rid of it, all right? So what happens with autoimmunity is there are so many things coming in, the immune system is literally going haywire, and it's almost like the immune system develops PTSD, right? So if someone goes off to war and they're under fire so much, once they come back, they're like, everybody that walks through the door, they think is the enemy, and they want to shoot, okay? And so that's kind of what is happening. Everything that's coming in, now your immune system is, well, not everything, but a lot of things, or things that are friendlies. It's shooting at friendlies is what's happening, okay? So it happens with the food that you're eating, because what happens is undigested proteins gets through that lining. It's called leaky gut. It gets through that lining in the gut, and it's not supposed to be there. So then the immune system recognizes it as foreign, and it starts attacking it. And so that's how we develop a lot of the food sensitivities. Well, the same thing happens when you have foreign things like, gluten. You start reacting to gluten. You start reacting to wheat. You start reacting to pesticides and herbicides and glyphosates and all of that. And now your body's on high alert, and it's reacting to so many different things. And now you've developed allergies and sensitivities and all of that. Okay. So that's what happens. So now, Okay, doc, that's great. What does that have to do with the anti-inflammatory diet? Well, what you want to do is you want a strategy where you're eating foods that have shown to be less inflammatory. So we want to focus on eating whole foods, okay? Healthy fats, fruits and vegetables. And why is this? Because this is what God put on this earth for us to eat. So if we're eating what we're supposed to eat, we don't get sick. Now, guess who else is like that? Animals. When animals eat things that they're not supposed to eat, what happens is they get sick, right? So if you feed a fish a bunch of corn, the last time I checked, corn doesn't grow underwater, right? So my guess is that corn is not a part of their natural food selection. But when you have farm raised fish and things of that nature, and they're given a bunch of products that have corn in it, they're going to get sick. To prevent them from getting sick, they have to be given antibiotics and medicines and things of that nature. Same way with livestock. When they're not eating what they're meant to eat, like grass. When beef, they don't eat grass, they get sick. So same way with us. So what we want to do is we want to eat what we were meant to eat: natural meats, natural plant products, natural fruits, without man-made substances. Okay, and now these days a lot of the fruits and vegetables are man-made with the GMOs and things of that nature. Okay, so that is the most simple thing. If you just get rid of processed foods, things that when you look at a label and you read it and it has 10 different ingredients that you don't know what it means, right? You need a chemistry degree to figure it out. You don't need to be eating that, because what's happening is the body's smart, okay? It doesn't matter how dumb we may be. Our bodies are smart. It knows that it doesn't belong, okay? We may read it and it's like, I don't know what this is, but well, it's FDA approved or it's in the grocery store, so it must be healthy. No, the body says, no, this doesn't belong, and it will attack, okay? So focus on whole foods, non-processed foods. Also focus on lean protein sources, okay? And include spices. So what we want to do is we want to use food as medicine. And spices are very medicinal. There's a lot, turmeric, it's anti-inflammatory. Ginger, anti-inflammatory. So garlic, anti-inflammatory. So these are spices that makes food taste phenomenal, and it also brings down inflammation and it heals you. Use food as medicine. The thought that healthy food can't taste great, that's a fallacy. That is not true. We have a whole recipe guide where the food is great. We have our clients, our practice members, some of them, they hosted Thanksgiving dinner and they only used the recipes from our recipe guide, and they invited, non-members over, and they raved about the food. They had no idea that they were eating quote unquote healthy stuff, right? So, it doesn't have to taste bad, all right? You want to limit processed and sugary foods. We already talked about processed foods, but sugar is also inflammatory. The refined carbs, right? So we want to avoid white breads and pastries and sugary snacks. All of that stuff is poisonous to anybody, not just if you have inflammation, not just if you have autoimmunity, anyone. You want to avoid trans fats. What are trans fats? Those are the bad fats. Those are the ones that are in potato chips, okay? We want to eat healthy fats. Avocado oil, right? Oil's not bad if it's a healthy oil, all right? So these are things that we want to do. And we want to drink plenty of water. We want to make sure that we're hydrating ourselves. This is something that anyone and everyone can do. Here's the challenge that most people have. They get distracted and then they're eating reactively, not proactively. plan out your eating strategy. I think that is a very important thing. Okay, just plan out your eating strategy. Try to limit processed food. Just start basic. Now, when you look up at AIP diet, it can be overwhelming because then it gets into legumes, it gets into nightshades, and all of this. I'm telling you, I wouldn't start there. Just start eliminating things that you shouldn't be eating. Start there and then work your way up. Anyone that goes through one of our programs, we don't just say, oh, you can't have all of these things. No. Week 1, all we're doing is eliminating processed foods, right? Week 2, all we're doing is eliminating artificial sweeteners and sugars. Week number 3, now we're going to focus on this. Build up to it rather than overwhelming yourself. Very, very important. And so the questions that we get with autoimmune, one question is, well, how long do I have to do the autoimmune diet? So that's a very good question. I would say that you would want to come up with an eating strategy that's going to get you pain-free, that's going to get your labs normal, okay? Come up with an eating strategy that is going to get you feeling good. Once you do that, then now as long as I continue this, I'm going to feel great. So now ask yourself, what healthy foods do I want to bring back in? Say you got rid of tomatoes, right? And you want to bring back in tomatoes. Oh, I miss tomatoes. I love tomatoes. Then go ahead, once you're feeling good, go ahead and bring that back and monitor how you feel. Now, you don't want to bring back tomatoes and a whole bunch of other stuff, because then if you start having pain again, or if you start having issues, you're not going to know what did it, right? So you want to bring back one food, I say one food per week. And then if you do not have any reactions, then you can bring another food in. But as soon as you have a reaction, you have to get rid of that food, and you have to get rid of that until you feel better again. The challenge that a lot of people have is they've never known what it feels like to feel good, right? And so they're just they're all over the place, trying all these things, and they have no idea of what's working, what's not working, because they're just, throwing stuff up at the wall and hoping what sticks. You really need someone to walk you through this, because it really can be challenging if you don't have some guidance, okay? Just word of advice on that, all right? I get a lot of questions about various autoimmune conditions. I have one question: what are your healthy natural solutions for advanced stage of multiple sclerosis? I don't have any. I'm just going to be honest with you. If you're in an advanced stage of multiple sclerosis, I don't have any solution that's going to reverse it. When I think of a solution, and you're telling me that you have advanced stage multiple sclerosis, I don't know of any, to be quite honest. So with autoimmunity, the immune system is attacking the end organ. So we have to catch it before the end organ gets so bad where we can't come back, right? So with multiple sclerosis, the immune system is attacking the nervous system. Well, if you have an advanced stage of multiple sclerosis, then that means that the damage has been done, and I don't know of anything. Possibly stem cells. I would have to do the research on it, but that's the only thing that I could think of that could possibly regenerate nerve cells. But I don't quote me on that, because I haven't done the research to know if like stem cells in multiple sclerosis. But that's what I would research to see, because we're talking about regenerative medicine at this point. What we do is number one, we stop the immune system from attacking. So what we want to do is we want to end the attack. We want to calm down the immune system. That we have solutions for. It's everything that I talk about, right? And then that's going to prevent further damage for multiple sclerosis. And then and then when your body is functioning better, then you're actually able to have more mobility and feel better and things of that nature, right? But the actual nerves, once they are the nerve cell is damaged or dead, it's hard to reverse that or bring that back. Okay, but you can prevent it from progressing, and you can feel better because if your body's unhealthy and you have an advanced stage of multiple sclerosis and your immune system is steadily attacking, you're going to go, you're just going to feel miserable. Every day is going to be misery. But if we're able to stop the attack and fix the things that, a perfect example, nutrient deficiencies, right? If you have nutrient deficiencies, the working nervous system that you do have is not going to function optimally. So let's get the nervous system that you do have that's functioning, let's get that running optimally, and then you're going to have more mobility, you're going to feel better, etc. So that is the strategy that I would use for any type of multiple sclerosis, let alone advanced stage, okay? So Tin says that, do you have an office in Fort Lauderdale? Because I would love very much to attend your event. Well, thank you so much, Tin. So there are, maybe I'll come over to Fort Lauderdale and do an event. But here's the thing. I want all of you to get out of this mindset where I need to see a doctor. I need to be sitting in front of a doctor. That doctor needs to take their stethoscope and listen to my heart and give me a diagnosis, okay? This is the reason why. Because it's what you do that's going to change it around. So for instance, we work with everyone virtually. There's nothing that we do that we need to do in person. Now, there are some things that are helpful, right? If you want to do IV therapies, obviously we can't do that virtually, right? If you want to do stem cells, if you want to do, even peptide therapy, because we can do peptide therapy, hormone therapy, and all that, because we can do the evaluations virtually. We can send you to a lab in your area. So, we don't draw blood in our office. So we can send you to a lab in your area. We can send you kits. We can send you whatever modalities that we're doing, whether it's supplements, peptides, hormones, whatever it is. We can send that to your home. So there's not really any reason to have to be in front of a provider. That's not just with us, but anyone that does telehealth. Because now the world is opened up to you. You can find the best in their field and not have to worry. Because I hear so many people, I don't have any great functional medicine docs in my town. Okay, well, they don't need to be in your town anymore. It's you really have access to so much now. It is really amazing. Now, with that said, we do webinars. The webinars that we do are, you can tune in from Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is what, an hour and a half from Naples. Sometimes I do live dinner presentations here in Naples. You could drive on over, So maybe I'll come over to Fort Lauderdale one day and do a presentation. But thank you for that. Christine says, I loved yesterday's chat. I've been dealing with fatty liver, non-alcoholic. I've changed my diet to eat veggies, fruit, chicken, fish. I feel good at first, but then again, I'm so sluggish and my body hurts. Christine, you are not alone, okay? First of all, congratulations for making the switch. You have done something that, a lot of people aren't willing to do. So congratulations on that. It sounds like that you're very proactive, and that's what it takes. So what's happening is you have an underlying condition that you're just not aware of, right? So what could that be? Well, you could have a lot of toxin buildup. So if you have toxicity in your body, then that is going to drain your energy. Toxicities actually bind to the mitochondria. The mitochondria is the powerhouse, the engine of the cells, the individual cells, okay? So if you have toxins and it's clogging up your motor in all of your cells, you're going to be drained. So what we want to do is we want to help the body do what it's already trying to do, and that is to detoxify, all right? So very important. Now, eating clean foods and getting rid of toxins, that's going to help, but it's not going to solve the problem if you have a buildup of toxins where your body's overwhelmed. The other thing that could be going on is you could have a hormone imbalance. And if you have a hormone imbalance, there's going to be an uphill battle trying to really turn that around and get your energy back. All right. So we want to be aware of that. There could be so many different things. If you're inflamed, that can drain your energy. What we really need to do is get some comprehensive functional testing to really figure out, okay, what is the root cause of the fatigue? It could be an adrenal issue. If you have an adrenal issue, then we have to address that. Just eating healthy and doing some of the things that you're doing is not necessarily going to solve that. Okay, so that's what's happening. And the fact that you said that you're sluggish and your body hurts, that's telling me that we have an inflammatory issue going on. So we need to assess that. We also need to make sure that you're not you don't have an underlying autoimmune condition. Okay, so thank you so much for that. That was great. Karen says, I have lupus and fibromyalgia for over 20 years. I now have such crippling pain in my legs and my body. I do okay if I don't have to move, but I am a living, breathing woman. Wow, Karen, this sounds like that it has you held hostage. I'm so sorry that you're going through this. She also says when you wake up in such pain, sometimes I wish I didn't wake up at all. I don't know what to do, and I quit going to pain management, and I just can't handle the pain and jumping through hoops to get any pain relief. I'm at my wit's end, and I'm just seeking help. So Karen, again, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. This sounds horrendous. So lupus and fibromyalgia, autoimmune, you're inflamed from head to toe. I can promise you, if we get the inflammation down, the pain will improve, okay? I don't blame you for not wanting to continue going to pain management, and they just treat you like some type of druggie sometimes, you know? It's like you have to jump through so many hoops, like you said. It's demoralizing, and you're in such pain, and then you literally have to prove that you're in pain. Like, how do you even do that? So yes, this is tough. So the key is there is hope, because we have people that are in debilitating pain that come to us on a daily basis, and we're able to get them out of pain. The key is not treating the pain, right? There are treatments for pain that work very well, but treating the pain is treating the symptom. So what we want to do is we want to get to the root cause of where the pain is coming from. So for instance, if someone says that they have a headache and they want something to treat the headache, and I look at them and I see that they have a nail sticking out of their head, well, what I want to do is I just want to get to the root cause. Let's pull the nail out so that way the body can heal and you have no more headache. Let's figure out what that nail is for you, because there is definitely a nail in your system that's causing the pain. We can't solve it until we find it. So that's the first step. I would find, whether you want to reach out to us, because again, we can work with you virtually, or some functional medicine physician. And the reason why I say they have to be functional medicine trained is because that's the only really specialty that I know that really trains the providers to really get to the root cause of the issue. If they're not getting to the root cause, then they're just treating or guessing or throwing things up against the wall. We don't want that. All right. So you're in such pain, you definitely don't want to try to deal with this on your own. You need some support with this. Okay. I just want you to know that there is hope, because whether it's myself or any other physician that deals with this, I'm telling you, they get great results. Not just us. They all get great results. So there's hope. That's what I really wanted to let you know. Okay? All right. We have another question. I answered that one already. I just watched your webinar. I have not received my personal health assessment to send back to you. I would be a very interesting case. I started with an autoimmune disorder with chronic fatigue. I've had long COVID for over 18 months, resulting in more fatigue, and I've had 2 surgeries due to extreme coughing. Oh my goodness. Um, um, I was on 90 milligrams of prednisone a day. That is a ton of prednisone. I'm finally down to 6 milligrams, but I still feel awful. So, first of all, please reach out to my office if you have not received your personal health assessment. Okay, we need to get that to you so that way we can go through that and really, because it's the root cause analysis tool that should have already been sent to you. So for those that you don't know, on the webinar that I do on this subject, we offer a consultation, and the consultation has what's called a root cause analysis tool. It is a game changer. We literally have something that can point us in the right direction of what the likely root cause is, because it gears us to what labs that we need to order and things of that nature. Because, functional medicine, it can be an investment. I have colleagues that have $10,000, $15,000 testing packages. That's just the testing package. And I believe that, it's helpful if you can do that. It's very helpful. It tells you an enormous amount about your health. But my personal opinion, I think that is overkill in a lot of cases, because I don't think that everyone needs all of that. So we have a root cause analysis tool that when you have that dialed in, we can tell you. I'm pretty accurate. All my practitioners, they can tell you with great accuracy what's going on. And then when we do get the test, it shows exactly what we thought. That's how accurate this is. So you definitely want to get that, Tina. So call my office, say, hey, first thing to do is check spam, because it's probably sitting in your spam folder, okay? But call my office, 239-465-0098, and say, hey, I haven't gotten my health analysis tool, so they can help you with that, all right? And then you can get on with the practitioner, and they can dial that in so that we can turn a lot of this around. Because we've had, I had a whole program on long COVID when it was really rampant. So we can definitely help with all of that and get you feeling better. I mean, that is important. Another question: is there any alternative to steroids? Absolutely. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Let me tell you about steroids. Steroids, they're a wonder drug. Some people, when you take steroids, you feel on the top of the world. Like you say, oh my God, this is the way that I felt, when I was 30 years old. I don't have any more pain. I have energy. I feel great. I feel on the top of the world. That is very good information to know. The reason is because what steroids do, what they do 2 things. Well, they do a lot of things, but 2 main things. They are like a fire hose when it comes to putting out that fire of inflammation. I mean, there's nothing that I know that works better than steroids, right? As far as that is concerned. So that's one thing. So instantly you wipe out the inflammation, you're going to feel great. And you're not going to have any pain. The other thing that it does is when you have adrenal issues, when you're not able to keep up with the cortisol demand in your body, now when you get steroids, now you have that, and your body's like wakes up and says, oh my goodness, this is what I've been missing. So, well, doc, I mean, if it's such great stuff, why don't you recommend it? How come? I mean, everybody needs to be on steroids. Well, the reason is because it's a fire hose, right? So if you have a fire in your home, the last thing that you want to do is call the fire department if you can do something yourself to put it out, right? Am I right or wrong? Why is that? Why would you prefer to put out the fire in your home if it's small enough, why would you prefer to put it out than call the fire department? Well, it's because of that fire hose. What the fire department's going to do, they don't care about, water damage, your door that they have to bust down. They don't care about all that. They have one goal and one goal only, and that is to put out that fire. So if they have to knock down doors and bust out windows and drench your whole house with water, that's what they're going to do because that is their purpose, right? Steroids, same thing. You're going to deal with the damage afterwards, okay? That's the problem with steroids. And your own doctor will tell you, you can only be on steroids for so long. We can only, if you're getting injections, we can only give you about 3. We have to space these out. You can't have this. It's going to destroy your joints. It's going to, it's going to cause more harm than good. But in crisis, it can be a lifesaver. So what are the alternatives? Well, the alternatives are, all the things that we're talking about. Let's get rid of the source, because if we get to the root cause of what's causing the fire, right? Because think about it. If your house is on fire, the fire truck comes and drenches your home, puts out the fire. If everything dries out, once everything dries out, if you still have a gas leak that you didn't identify, boom, the house is going to go up in flames again eventually, right? And then you're going to have to call the fire truck again. So we want to get to the gas leak. What's fueling the inflammation in the first place? So once we do that and we cut off the fuel to the fire, then we have no more fire. So that's the alternative to steroids. Let's get to the root cause of what's causing the inflammation in the first place. A lot of times, there are inflammatory foods that you're eating that's fueling this fire. So I would suggest if you follow an anti-inflammatory eating strategy, just say, hey, I'm going to do it for a month or 2 weeks or whatever, just to prove to yourself that that is the case. That's what I would do, okay? We can also get some testing to find out what the root cause is, so we could do that. But there's also things that you can do on your own as well, all right? But, your eating strategy, that has to be number one. I wouldn't just go out and buy supplements. You got to be careful with supplements because you got to be careful of the brand, that you buy. You have to be careful. You just have to be careful because it's not regulated. We only have certain brands that we use. You also have to be a little leery of private labeling as well. Definitely be leery of anything on Amazon because they can, counterfeit anything. And supplements is so easy just to duplicate and call it some brand, but you're getting something else. So you gotta be really careful when it comes to that. Alrighty. Anyway, I've been on here for quite a bit. I hope this was helpful. If you have further questions or whatever, just chat it to us. Chat it to. I don't even know if that's a thing. Chat it to us. Put it in the DMs, the comments. Comment. That's what I'm trying to say. Just put it in the comments and I'll make sure that I address it. I'm going to get on here every Wednesday and address questions. All right? All right. You all take care.